Good morning, everyone. And so far, we have covered 12 lectures about Rabi crop production practices. And today, we are going to see about package of practices for SSI. Okay, in the last class, you have already studied about the sugarcane crop production practices. It means normal sugarcane crop production practices. And today, you are going to learn about package of practices for SSI. What is meant by SSI? Okay, before entering in the topic, let's see it vernacular names. In the last class already we have touched with this. Okay, in English we will call it as sugarcane, noble cane, or noble sugarcane, or sugarcane as usual. And in Hindi we will call it as ganna, shakara, anuk. Okay, in Tamil karumbu, in Malayalam karimbu, karimpu, and in Kannada kabbu. Okay, these are different vernacular names for sugarcane. Classification of sugarcane: it belongs to the Graminae family, class Monocotyledons, and order Glumaceae, and subfamily Panicoideae, and tribe Anthrapogonae, and subtribe Saccharinae. Okay, this is the classification of sugarcane. Let's see what is meant by SSI. Sustainable Sugarcane Initiative. SSI means Sustainable Sugarcane Initiative. Okay, let's see how it came into existence. The Sustainable Sugarcane Initiative is yet another practical approach to sugarcane production which is based on the principles of more with less in agriculture. Okay, the main SSI principle is more with less in agriculture, like system of rice intensification. I hope you all know about the SRI system of rice. What is meant by SRI? System of rice intensification. By taking this into view, SSI has been evolved. Okay, with the meaning of more with less. SSI improves the productivity of water, land, and labor all at the same time, while reducing the overall pressure on water resources. Sustainable Sugarcane Initiative is a method of sugarcane production which involves using less seeds, less water, and optimum utilization of fertilizers and land to achieve more yields. Remember, Sustainable Sugarcane Initiative is a method of sugarcane production which involves by using only less seeds, less water, and optimum utilization of fertilizers and land to achieve more yields. It driven by farmers. SSI is an alternate to conventional seed, water, and space intensive sugarcane cultivation. This is about the SSI. Okay. Let's see the major principles which govern this SSI. Okay, raising nursery using single budded chips. Okay, we have to raise this only by using single budded chips. Transplanting young seedlings 25 to 35 days old after grading. Direct planting of 3 budded chips is done. Okay, in conventional we will be using 3 budded chips, but here we are going to use only single budded chips. Okay, transplanting young seedlings of 25 to 35 days old. Raising in nursery and grading reduces plant mortality significantly as compared to conventional cultivation. Raising nursery, if you are going to plant these plants, it will be reduced mortality rate, so that it will automatically increases the crop plants population. Okay, maintaining wide spacing of 5 into 2 feet, 5 by 2 feet in the main field. Okay, which reduces the seed requirement by 75% from 48,000 to 5,000 single budded chips per acre. Wider spacing supports easy air and sunlight penetration in the crop canopy, leading to better and healthier cane growth. As we are following the white space, it will be helpful to lead better and healthier cane growth. Okay, it also allows for easier intercultural operations. As we are giving the wider space between the rows, it will be helpful to do intercultural operations easily, providing sufficient moisture and avoiding inundation of water, whereby I haven't mentioned some points here. If you note it out, okay, note it out the points. Providing sufficient moisture and avoiding inundation of water, whereby 40% of the water is saved. This is significant as sugarcane consumes about 2,500 liters of water per kg of sugarcane produced. Okay, for kg sugarcane production, it will consume about 2,500 liters of water. Encouraging organic methods of nutrient management and plant protection. Practicing intercropping, thereby increasing effective utilization of land, giving additional income and reducing weed growth by 60%. Okay, in this SSI we are going to practice intercropping, which thereby increase the effective utilization of land, giving additional income and reducing the weed growth by 60%. All the above practices which I have said now lead to increased length and weight of individual canes and at least 20 to 25 tillers per plant and 9 to 10 millable canes per plant as compared to 10 to 15 tillers and 4 to 5 millable canes in conventional cultivation. If we see in the conventional cultivation, we will get only 10 to 15 tillers and 4 to 5 millable canes, but here in this SSI we can get about 20 to 25 tillers per plant and 9 to 10 millable canes. These are some principles of SSI. Okay, and now we are moving to cultivation aspects. In the cultivation aspects, first one is about bud selection. How we are going to select these buds? Select healthy canes of 7 to 9 months old with 10 to 12 buds per cane. Okay, we have to select an healthy cane of 7 to 9 months old with 10 to 12 buds per cane. Okay, only we can select 10 to 12 buds is enough from each cane. We have to remove buds from the selected canes using an implement called bud chipper. By using bud chipper, we are going to remove the selected buds from the canes. The chipped buds have to be treated with organic or chemical solutions. And also 450 to 500 canes per acre is required. How many canes are required? 450 to 500 canes per acre is required. In nursery preparation, we have to take well decomposed cocoa pit, fill half of each cone in the tray with cocoa pit. Okay, we have to take that tray and we have to fill half of the cone with the well decomposed cocoa pit. Place the buds flat or in a slightly slanted position in the cones of a tray. Cover the bud chips in trays completely with cocoa pit. After placing that, we have to completely cover that cone with cocoa pit. Care should be taken to avoid water, air and sunlight entering into the trays by tightly covering and keeping the bundles in shade net or preferably inside a room. Okay, we have to place these trays. Nurturing trays should be kept inside without allowing any of the water or air or sunlight into the cones or trays. Okay, create artificial warmth through electric bulbs if the climate is too cold. This is the most crucial phase for the nursery management. Under proper conditions, within 3 to 5 days, white roots, primordia will come out and shoots will also appear in next 2 to 3 days. Based on the moisture content of cocoa pit, watering to the trays has to be initiated in the evenings for the next 15 days using rose cans. Okay, if we see that if the moisture content is less in that cocoa pit cones, then you can water that by giving intervals. Okay, next 15 days using rose cans. By using these rose cans, we can water that tray. During 6 leaf stage, about 20 days old seedling, grading of the plants has to be done. after 6 leaf stage. After it gets 6 leaves, you have to grade that canes. Okay, this is about the nursery preparation. In male field preparation, you have to follow these methods. Okay, the land preparation should be done as removal of residues and tillage should be done, addition of organic manures, making furrows and ridges. Let's see about the removal of residues. Main land preparation for sugarcane starts with clearing the preceding crop residues. Stubbles are to be collected and removed from the field. All residues can be incorporated into the soil by the rotavator. By using this rotavator, we are going to incorporate that residues in the soil. Okay, this is about the removal of residues. And next one is about tillage. Tillage operation also done through tractor drawn implements are most ideal and quick. After 1 or 2 initial plowings, soil must be allowed to weather for a week or 2 before going for further tillage operations. We have to maintain 2 initial plowings, and soil should also must be allowed to weather for week or 2 weeks before going for further tillage operations. This is about the tillage. And addition of organic manures. The SSI method mainly encourages application of organic manure as it enhances the macro and micronutrient content in the soil in an eco-friendly way, which helps in optimum utilization of some of the chemical fertilizers and protects the soil from degradation and other hazardous effects. If you're not going to use any of the chemicals in that field, then we can reduce the use of chemical fertilizers and also increases the soil fertility by adding the organic manures. Making furrows and ridges. Make furrows with a distance of 5 feet in between. Run a subsoiler attached to the ridger or plow through the furrow to loosen the soil. Okay, make furrows with a distance of 5 feet in between. You have to make the furrows by measuring 5 feet in between the rows. Okay, run a subsoiler attached to the ridger or plow through the furrow to loosen the soil. This will support proper incorporation of manure, deplantation and prevention of lodging. Okay, making this all the methods, main field preparation methods, it will help to reduce the lodging in the crop. Okay, this is about the main field preparation. Next, moving to fertilizer application. Nutrient management in sugarcane cultivation is very essential for its crop growth. Not only in sugarcane but also every crop needs some valuable amount of fertilizers for its crop growth and development. It is always better to know the required quantity of nutrients through soil testing and enrich the soil accordingly. If there is no facility for that, then NPK can be applied at the rate of 112 kg of N and 25 kg of phosphorus and 48 kg of potassium per acre. Through inorganic or organic methods, we can apply 112 kg of nitrogen, 25 kg of phosphorus and 48 kg of potassium per acre. If we see the transplanting method in this, the ideal age for transplanting the young seedlings from nursery to the main field is about 25 to 35 days. While transplanting to the main field, zigzag method of planting can be followed to utilize more space and achieve maximum tillers. Which method should be followed in this SSI? Zigzag method of planting. Okay, plant to plant distance of 2 feet has to be maintained for easy sunlight penetration and profuse tillering. How much distance we have to maintain? 2 feet distance has to be maintained for easy sunlight penetration and profuse tillering. All the other cultivation practices are same as conventional method. Okay, and the previous class we have already learned about the conventional method of sugarcane production. As like that only we are going to do all other practices. If we see about the intercropping in SSI, it supports intercropping in sugarcane with crops like wheat, potato, cowpea, French bean, chickpea, watermelon, brinjal, and also in addition to effective utilization of land, this practice will reduce the wheat growth up to 60% and gives extra income to farmers. As usual, if we are going to use this intercropping or mixed cropping, it will be going to increase the income for the extra income to the farmers. Okay, this is about the intercropping in SSA system. If we see the weed management in this SSA system, a weed-free environment is absolutely essential for efficient intake of nutrients. This can be achieved by deplowing and removal of perennial weeds. This is normal method, okay? But if you are not going to remove the weeds in that field, from that field, definitely there will be a competition between the main crop and these weed crops, so that automatically the nutrients which are present in that field will be lost by these weeds. Okay, weeds will uptake very fast than the main crop plants, so that we have to maintain weed free environment always. Hand weedings and mechanical weedings at 30, 60 and 90 days after planting are better for long term benefits. For getting long term benefits, we have to remove the weeds at 30, 60 and 90 days after planting. This is essential in all the stages. Okay, we have to maintain this regularly. If you see the mulching in this SSA system, we can use the sugarcane trash mulch here. Trash mulching is very important in the sugarcane cultivation, as it helps in checking the weeds and providing needed moisture. It will give many benefits. It also reduces the weeds as well as to the field, to the soil. Okay, sugarcane trash can be applied at the rate of 1.5 tons per acre within 3 days of planting. Similarly, after detrashing, the removed leaves can be applied in the interspaces as mulch. No need to buy from other places or any other space. There is no transport for this. In the field itself, the trash can be collected and will be spreaded as mulch in between the interspaces. Okay, this is about the mulching practice in SSA system. If you are going to see about the water management, drip irrigation can be practiced effectively in SSI due to wider spacing and rising of single seedlings. Due to wider spacing and rising of single seedlings, drip irrigation will always better to provide sufficient quantity of water on time rather than flooding the field with enormous amount of water. If you are going to use that irregular water management practices, definitely there will be use loss in water as well as for the crop too. So that it is always better to provide sufficient quantity of water on time rather than flooding the field with enormous amount of water. Drip irrigation always gives effective results for this. In conventional flooding method, water is always applied more than the biological demand of the crop, which may affect the crop growth. After transplantation, the frequency of irrigation may differ depending on the soil type and the age of the crop, rainfall and moisture availability. For sandy soil, the frequency will be more, and for clay soil it will be less somewhat. Give irrigation once in 10 days during tillering stage. At 36 to 100 days, tillering stage will be between 36 to 100 days. Once in 7 days during the grand growth period, that will be in 101 to 270 days, and once in 15 days during maturity period, from 271 days till harvest. Okay, when we have to give once in 10 days during tillering stage. 36 to 100 days we can give with an intermediate days of 10 days. Okay, once in 7 days during grand growth period, that will commence on 101 to 270 days, and once in 15 days during maturity period, that will be start from 271 days till harvest. Furrow irrigation helps in proper application and saving of water. Alternate furrow irrigation means irrigating the furrows of odd numbers initially, followed by irrigating the furrows of even numbers. after 7 to 15 days as per the moisture content and age of the crop. This will ensure saving of water up to 50%. It means alternately we are going to give. If we are going to give once in the odd rows, next time with the days, some days interval, we are going to give in even rows. Okay, likewise we have to give the irrigation after 7 to 15 days as per the moisture content and age of the crop. By keeping these all points, we have to manage giving this flood irrigation. Okay. In conventional method, cost of seeds occupies the major part of the cost of cultivation. Okay, let's see some organic method of cultivation in SSI method. Okay, the SSI method encourages application of organic manures. I haven't mentioned here, so please note these points. In organic method of cultivation, the SSI method encourages application of organic manure as it enhances the macro and micronutrient content in the soil in an eco-friendly way. Okay, which helps in optimum utilization of some of the chemical fertilizers and protects the soil from degradation and other hazardous effects. Okay, in this system, the organic manure, as it enhances the macro and micronutrients content in the soil in an eco-friendly way, it will help in optimum utilization of some of the chemical fertilizers. This is the common point, that soil from degradation and saves other hazardous effects. Okay, apply organic manure like FIM compost or well decomposed press mud about 8 to 10 tons per acre. Quantity of organic manure could be adjusted in such a way as to supply 112 kg of nitrogen per acre through one or more sources depending on their nitrogen content. Okay, we have to apply quantity of organic manure could be adjusted in such a way as to supply 112 kg of nitrogen per acre through one or more sources depending on the N content that available in that soil. Trichoderma and Pseudomonas, each of 1 kg per acre, and decomposing cultures can be mixed with organic manures, and this will improve the soil fertility to realize higher yields. Okay, when we are going to use all these organic manures, that will increase the sustainability of the land and also increases the soil fertility content. So that we have to maintain the proper methods of cultivation, organic cultivation in this SSI method. And now we are going to see about the some differences. Not only that, in earthing up means application of soil at the root zone to strengthen the crop stand. Okay, normally 2 earthing ups, partial and full, are followed during the complete crop period. Before going to that, I want to say some differences, comparison between the flood irrigation and drip irrigation in SSI. Please make your points here. Make 3 columns. In the first column, heading will be particulars, and in second column flood irrigation, and in third column drip irrigation. Okay, in the first particulars, water requirement. Water required for flood irrigation is 2200 mm. 2200 mm. But in drip irrigation, it requires only 1000 mm. 1000 mm. Next, second one, duration of irrigation. Duration of irrigation. In duration of irrigation, the flood irrigation requires 250 days. 250 days. In drip irrigation, it requires 250 days. Same. And third one, irrigation interval. In flood irrigation, we have to maintain 7 days interval, and in drip irrigation, we can maintain 1 day interval. Fourth, number of irrigations required. In flood irrigation, we have to give 36 irrigations, and in drip irrigation we are going to give 250. 250 number of irrigations during the whole crop. Next one, water requirement of single irrigation. Water requirement of single irrigation is for flood irrigation requires 6.1 lakhs, and in drip fertigation it requires 0.4 lakhs, 4 lakh liters. Okay, if you see the yield by using flood irrigation, it yields about 92 to 105 tonnes per hectare, 92 to 105 tonnes per hectare. And in drip fertigation, if we see the yield contain 150 to 200 tonnes per hectare. Okay, there is a huge difference by using flood irrigation and drip fertigation. So compare between that and you can choose by yourself. Okay, if we see the benefit cost ratio for flood irrigation, it will be of 1.97, and for drip irrigation it will be 4.7. that will be the benefit cost ratio. See how drip fertigation was going to be useful for you if you follow in your sugarcane field. Okay, so that it is an updated technology in water management. Drip irrigation will be helpful in many ways for the farmers. Okay, I hope everybody will be following this after this. And next, let's see the first fertigation schedule for sugarcane. I haven't mentioned before during the fertilization. Okay, let's see the fertigation schedule for sugarcane in SSI. It requires, let's see, make a columns of 4 columns. In the first column, write stays day after planting. Stays in bracket you can write it as day after planting. And the other 3 columns for NPK. And the 3 columns for NPK. First one, 0 to 30 days. 0 to 30 days after planting, we have to apply 39.4 kg per hectare of nitrogen and 0 kg of phosphorus and 0 kg of potassium. Second one, 31 to 60 days after planting. In this we have to apply 48.6 kg per hectare of nitrogen, 26.25 kg of phosphorus and 9 kg of potassium. Next one is about 61 to 90 days. We have to apply 51.4 kg per hectare of nitrogen and 20.50 kg per hectare of phosphorus and 13.5 kg of potassium during 61 to 90 days. And from 91 to 120 days, we are going to apply 55.2 kg of nitrogen, 16.25 kg of phosphorus and 14.6 kg of potassium. And from 121 to 180 days, we are going to apply 57.8 kg of nitrogen, 0 kg of phosphorus and 40.5 kg of potassium. If you are going to see about from 181 to 210 days, we are going to apply 10.5 kg of nitrogen, 0 kg of phosphorus and 35.0 kg of potassium. These are about various fertigation schedule for sugarcane in SSI system. Next, moving to harvesting. In harvesting, before harvesting, I forgot to say about the pest management in this. Okay, here the plant protection for like every crop, sugarcane should also be protected from pest and diseases. So some following of the major pest and disease and their control measures or early shoot borer. First one is the early shoot borer. We can control this by trash mulching along with good water management and light earthing up at 35th day. Please note down that points. I haven't mentioned that slide here. For plant protection, for controlling the early shoot borer, we are going to use trash mulching along with good water management and light earthing up at 35th day. and release 50 fertilized stomopures parasite per acre when the crop is at the age of 45 to 60 days. And for controlling internode borer, we are going to take and distribute the cards pasted with X of Trichogramma chilonis at the rate of 10 cards per acre at 20 meters distance when the crop is 4 to 11 months old. Okay, we can control this internode borer by distributing the Trichogramma chilonis cards at the rate of 10 cards per acre at 20 meters distance when the crop is 4 to 11 months old. Okay, we are going to use pheromone traps at the rate of 10 per acre at 20 meters distance in the 5 months old crop. We are also going to use male moths can be trapped and killed. And for controlling the top borer, we are going to release the parasite Isotema javensis ron against third or fourth broods of the pest. For controlling top borer, we are going to release the parasite Isotema javensis ron against third or fourth broods of the pest. White grubs in this SSI are going to be controlled by hand picking and destruction method. And for red rot, we are going to select the resistant varieties and disease-free bud chips, which helps in destruction of affected clumps. This is about the red rot control, and disease like wilt can be reduced by healthy buds, crop rotation and optimization of soil moisture. Other than this, some other pests and diseases were also present that you have already learned in the previous class. And now moving to harvesting. Harvesting in sugarcane is practiced in collaboration with the industry in most of the cases to suit the factory timings. Okay, we are going to practice this in collaboration with the industries in most of the cases to suit the factory timings. And next one, sucrose content in the plants will reach the desirable level on the 10th month of the 1 year crop duration. Okay, if it was annual crop, then sugarcane will be sucrose content in the plants will reach the desirable level on the 10th month of the 1 year crop duration, and they will be ready for harvest within next 2 months. Once canes are harvested, definitely they are going to be harvest within 2 months. Let's see the overall benefits of this SSA system. Okay, in this conventional method, cost of seeds occupies the major part of cost of cultivation. Okay, for buying seeds only, there will be huge loss. By practicing SSI, the seed cost can be reduced up to 75%. Okay, if you are going to use these practices here in organic practices or any of the practices in SSI, this seed cost can be reduced up to 75%. Reduction in the plant mortality rate, increases in the length and weight of each cane. It is easy to transport the young seedlings for longer distance. Intercultural operations can be carried out easily during the wider spacing. Okay, these are some important overall benefits of this sugarcane SSI method. Let's see the scope of SSI in Tamil Nadu. In Tamil Nadu, being the number of one state in sugarcane productivity, more than 100 tons per hectare, it has a great potential in SSI. The following are some of the regions which I am going to say now to foresee the great impact of SSI in Tamil Nadu sugarcane sector. Farmers are very much innovative, eager to take up any new technologies with a great enthusiasm and support. SSI will be a suitable option to solve the present problems of increasing seed cut and labor cost and other soil fertility and productivity related issues. Due to wider spacing, intercultural operations become easy, thus reducing the drudgery among women laborers. The wider spacing suggested in SSI are ideal in case of introducing mechanical harvest an effort already in practice in some of the mill areas in Tamil Nadu. Repeating again, farmers are very much innovative, eager to take up any of the new challenge. If you are going to do any work regarding the farming, they were very eager to learn, so that we can use that enthusiasm and support the farmers to develop these methods. SSI will be suitable option to solve the present problems of increasing seed cost, labor cost, and some other soil fertility and productivity related issues. Due to wider spacing, intercultural operations become easy, thus reducing the drudgery among women laborers. The wider spacing suggested in SSI are ideal in case of introducing mechanical harvester, an effort already in practice in some of the mill areas in Tamil Nadu. This was about scope of SSI in Tamil Nadu. Now we are going to move for the conclusion of this SSI system. SSI involves use of less seeds, less water, and optimum land cultivation to achieve more yields. It is governed by some principles like using single budded chips, raising nursery, wide spacing, sufficient immigration, and intercropping. Practicing these measures, the following benefits can be realized. Okay, we are going to remove all this, and you can get good results by using all these practices. Better germination percentage, high number of millable canes, reduction in duration of crop to some extent, increase water use efficiency, improvement in accessibility to nutrients with optimum use of fertilizers, more accessibility to air and sunlight, reduction in cost of cultivation, and extra income for intercrops. These are some conclusion points about this sustainable sugarcane initiative methods. SSI system will be generated for better germination percentage and also high number of millable canes, reduction in the duration of the crop to some extent, increase water use efficiency, improvement in accessibility to nutrients with optimum use of fertilizers, more accessibility to air and sunlight, reduction in cost of cultivation, and extra income from intercrops. Okay, these are some of the concluded points for raising the sugarcane by using SSI method. On the whole, by practicing SSI, farmers can be very well increase their productivity by reducing the use of inputs like fertilizers and saving the vital resources like water simultaneously. Hence, it is very much possible for sugarcane farmers to reap greater economic benefits by maintaining ecological sustainability. This was some information about the sustainable sugarcane initiative. Let's have a review of this complete lecture today's lecture. What were the aims of SSI? To provide practical options to farmers for improving the productivity of land, water, and labor, and also it reduces the crop duration. Providing factories a longer crushing season and increasing employment opportunity for workers. These are some of the aims of SSI. Some of the problems faced by sugarcane growers for following this method, there will be rising cost of cultivation. Okay, for all the sugarcane growers, farmers, there will be rising cost of cultivation, low market price, unavailability of good quality of seeds, improper cultivation practices, unpredictable climate aberrations, depletion of water table, hence water crisis. And there were many issues with the millers also. There was a poor recovery, short crushing seasons, all canes are planted almost same time, so pressure on machinery. You cannot crush at this certain time where the sucrose content will get evaporated if you are going to store like that only without going to recover that. Fluctuating yield, price fluctuations. These are the issues with millers. Not only that, there are different benefits for SSI to farmers. Less seed, saving in seed material. We are going to use white spacing, which is helpful for intercropping. Water saving, easy for drip, low cost, and intercrops will be helpful for additional income. Let's see some differences between the conventional and SSI method. Okay, make 3 columns. First one is about particulars, second conventional method, and third is SSI method. In particulars, first one, seeds or sets. Seeds or sets. In seeds are these sets are going about 48,000 buds are going to be used in conventional method, and in SSI method 5,000 single budded chips are enough for planting. If you see the nursery preparation in conventional method, there is no nursery preparation, and in SSI method we are going to follow the nursery method. Next one is about planting. Direct planting of sets in the main field in conventional method, but in SSI method 5 feet between the rows will be transplanting of 25 to 35 days old young seedlings raised from the bud chips directly. Okay, here we are going to direct planting of the sets in the main field in conventional method, but in SSI method transplanting of 25 to 35 days old seedlings raised from bud chips. In spacing 1.5 to 2.5 feet between rows in conventional method, but in SSI method 5 feet between the rows is followed. Water requirement. For water requirement in conventional method more flooding of field will be done, but in SSI method less maintenance of moisture in the furrows and adoption of drip irrigation. Mortality rate among plants. In conventional method it is high and SSI method it is low. Number of tillers per plant, less than 10 to 15 tillers per plant are available. In SSI method more than 15 to 20 are going to be used. Number of tillers per plant, there are about 10 to 15 tillers in conventional method and 15 to 20 in SSI method. We can also access to air and sunlight. In conventional method it is low and in SSI method it is high. Scope for intercrop, it will be less in conventional method and more in SSI method. These are the some comparison between the conventional and SSI methods of sugarcane cultivation. We have already covered all the points regarding the sugarcane in previous classes, and today we have learned about this SSI system of practices in sugarcane. If you are having any queries regarding to this topic, you can ask that in comment section so that I will clear your doubts. Thank you everyone.